last time I left it at the colonoscopy. A biopsy was taken and being told that they'd found something and I needed a CT scan. A few things happened after that. About a week or so after my colonoscopy, my brother rang. He's 2 years older than me. He said, "Don't be alarmed, but..." and then told me he'd had his own screening kit through the post, done the test, and had been called in for a colonoscopy of his own. His was the day after mine, literally the day after. He told me they'd found polyps and they'd taken a biopsy, and he wanted me to know before I heard it from anyone else, so that I wouldn't worry. I then told him that mine had been the day before his, that I'd had a biopsy too, that they'd found something in me as well. About a week later, his came back clear, no cancer. He did pick up an infection in his bowel around the same time and ended up in hospital for 4 days on a drip. Not very well, but no cancer. We talked about it afterwards. Now, cancer doesn't run in our family, as far as I know, and I know it can be hereditary. But apparently, with bowel cancer in particular, it seems to come down to lifestyle as much as anything else. What you eat, what you drink, all of it. I think about how close our two stories ran, right up until they didn't. Now, my CT scan was a few days after that. It was quick, straightforward, just lying there while a machine gets a proper look at what's going on. And that, together with the colonoscopy, the biopsy and the blood test, would all get reviewed together at a meeting to decide what happened next. I was told on the Monday, so 3-4 days later, that the meeting was the next day. And that evening, the Tuesday, I got a call to say the meeting had happened and that my case had been passed to the surgical team. Someone would be in touch to book me in with a surgeon. That was it. That was the whole call. Nobody said the word cancer. Nobody had said it to me actually this whole time. But you don't get passed to a surgical team for nothing. You don't get sent for a scan to check the size and the depths of something for nothing. By Thursday, I still hadn't heard about my appointment, so I chased it up myself. They said they'd chase the surgical team on the Friday. I also mentioned, because it'd been worrying me, that there'd been quite a lot of blood when I went to the toilet. I was told that was more or less normal for what I'm dealing with, but to watch for it getting worse or for feeling lightheaded and go to the A&E if I did. They called back later that day and told me my appointment was booked for Friday the 21st. That's tomorrow. By the time you're watching this, it'll be tomorrow. 10 days from that Tuesday call to tomorrow. 10 days of not knowing something without actually knowing anything. I found that harder than almost anything else so far. Left to just get on with normal life while quietly carrying the sense that the next conversation is going to change things. If I'm honest with you, and I said I would be, I know it's cancer. Nobody has said that word to me. Not the doctor, not the nurses, not anyone. But the nurse who did my colonoscopy told me that biopsies like mine are very rare, if to be negative, and that the most likely outcome from that they could see would be the surgeons removing a section of my bowel. I think some part of me has known since that day. I just didn't want to say it even to myself until nobody said it either. Maybe that's part of why it still doesn't feel real. There's no name for it yet, and then common sense creeps back in and reminds me they wouldn't be sending me to a surgeon to talk about treatment for nothing. Tomorrow, I go and find out properly what it is, how big, and what they want to do about it. By the time you're watching this, I might already know all of that. But right now, tonight, recording this, I don't. So this is me, the night before, still not knowing what I don't know. I wanted you here for that bit too, not just the answers. This is the Late Bloomer Living. I'm Wendy, and I'll let you know how I get on.